All right, what is good? Doing episode 60.
Is that 60?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Do we celebrate every 10 episodes? Oh, no, we're not losers.
Right. Sure. That is some sort of arbitrary milestone, though, and a hip hip hooray for that.
Anyways. It's your boys. It's your boy, Sai. Oh,
it's your boy,
absolutely.
Sai.
It's your boy, Sai.
It's your boy, Chad.
And
otherwise known as Norundithus. We are missing one
Sai.
brother tonight.
Oh, yeah, we're missing one. They would have, anybody who wastes their time would recognize that anyways. But,
well, there you go. But considering the massive audience that we gain in the future, like a year from now, they're going to be listening back to the old ones. So here we are just sort of clarifying, what's up? You know, what's going on? It's a different format, obviously. The one we use in the future is way better, way nicer, more productive. Anyways,
so a whole lot of things. I don't even want to say a whole lot of things happened on Tuesday because only one thing can happen, but
right.
A whole lot of narratives have like spun out of Tuesday for obvious reasons. And the biggest one that annoys me is the fact that there's so many races that still aren't called. And like you can still go on like any of the mainstream media or any media site that does polling and like announces and calls elections. You can go on their site and like votes are still rolling in somehow 2 days later. We got the Florida governor race where the governor the night of on Tuesday concedes. The Democratic candidate concedes, and then it was yesterday or today. He's just like, nope. Well, the votes are starting to come back. So, and it doesn't even matter if he said it or not because there's an automatic recount, I guess, in Florida under 0.5%, and it's under 0.5%. So,
of course it is,
with still more votes to come in. It's like, dude, I went to bed on Tuesday night, and Florida said like 99% reporting. And I was just like, okay, there it is. And it said 99% reporting ever since that moment. And votes just like keep coming in. And depending on what website you go to, it's the same thing for Arizona. So it's just mine.
How many people voted in the Florida election? 8 million,
right?
Roughly.
Yeah.
What's 1% of 8 million? You know, and the discrepancy of the vote was what? Just a few tens.
Oh, in the Senate race, it's like 0.22% separates them.
Right. So there you go.
Yeah. No, yeah.
You
definitely.
Can see it on projections, but then, you know, maybe there's
I also read a couple articles that said that in Broward County, I guess, where Miami is, or north of Miami, there were like a weird amount of election ballots that had the governor choice filled out, but did not have the Senate choice filled out on the ballot. And it was to such an extent that it was like so far and away that a lot of these ballots happened to just like not vote for Senate, but vote for governor, that like it was the only county to look that way. So maybe machines, they said there could be like a machine error counting the votes, because if you're under 0.5, you get an automatic machine recount. But if you're under 0.25, then you get a hand recount. It's nuts. There's so much stuff.
It's incredible that Florida can never get it right.
Yeah. Well, Arizona can't get it right either. California is still.
No, I know.
But you know what? Here's the thing.
I mean, Florida's the meme at this point in terms of fucking up voting processes.
And we can keep it in perspective a little bit.
Sure.
They don't sit or take power until the end of January. So a lot of the California stuff, and I think the Arizona stuff too, is because they do try to like be as flexible as possible with voting, to the point where if you send your ballot on election day and it's dated postmarked on election day and it comes like 2 days later, they're still counting.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So that's the stuff we're dealing with.
You know, fair enough, but at the same time, we're so used to that instant gratification. We just want to know.
Yeah.
But regardless, the elections as a whole, I mean, the Democrats are smiling pretty widely, right? I mean,
so that's what I'm saying, though. Like, there's so many different. I don't know whether to attribute this to the age of Trump and how he literally just can't admit that he didn't succeed in something, or if it's just or it's something else. I don't even know what that something else would be. But I read like a Fox News article, and I read some other articles from like kind of right leaning sources that were just like, "Watch out, here comes Trump in 2020." Like these results mean that like Trump's gonna do great, and I was just like, "What?" Like Democrats are poised to win the national House vote by like 7.5 million votes, so they won by about 7.5 points. And the national House vote was the only national vote there was. Now, you can't really tie that to a presidential vote, but I mean, it's a pretty good indicator of where the national gauge of it's the best indicator we have of gauging like the temperature of how people feel since Trump's been in office, and it favors the Democrats a whole like in a good margin. So you're right though, by the way. Like Democrats did what they should historically.
Right.
I think a lot of people are disappointed too because like this. Go ahead. Sorry.
The Senate gained a few votes Republican wise. Trump was touting that as
maybe
some sort of
we
a
still
victory.
don't know if that's true.
Right. At least 2 though. Correct?
No. So right now they have 51 called races, and Democrats have 46. So what's left is the Florida and the Arizona races,
so 3 races.
Which, by the way, 2 hours ago, Arizona dumped more votes, and Sinema retook the lead the first time since Tuesday. She's up like 2,000 votes.
Who's Sinema? A D or an R?
Kristen Sinema is the Democratic candidate in Arizona.
Interesting.
Yeah, she just took a slim lead, very slim lead. So anything could happen if Democrats take Arizona and Florida. Now the Democrat in Florida is behind by 15,000 votes, but it's still so close. Like, and there's still votes to be counted, and there's still a lot of votes to be counted in Arizona. But if they take both of those,
8 million votes,
Democrats will have 48,
and the discretion is 15,000.
Hang on, before the election, the makeup was 51-49, 51 Republicans, 49 Democrats. Democrats will have 48, and Republicans already have 51. They already won 51 seats. The last one is going to be the Mississippi Senate runoff, because this year there were 2 Senate races in Mississippi. The other one was because some guy, Thad Cochran, I think his name was, he retired earlier this year. So there was a special election, and in that special election, Mississippi is one of these weird states where like I don't even think they do. I think they do a no, they don't. They just do a jungle election. It's not even a jungle primary. They just like there was 2 Republicans running and there was a Democrat running. There's 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats running on election day for the special election seat in Mississippi. I don't know why.
So there's
since not one candidate got 50% off, the top 2 have to go to a runoff. Yeah.
Out of 4 candidates, not one got 50%. That's strange.
There's some weird
That's crazy
ways of electing people. Yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
regardless, though, at the very least, they're going to have at least a majority, at least 51.
Yeah, they already have that.
Right. Okay.
And at this point, the bigger it is, it really doesn't matter. I mean, maybe it does. Maybe it does. I don't know. I mean, the bigger it gets, the more likely Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House. I think she probably already is at this point.
Well, one of the big things I saw, she is going to be the House Speaker, by the way, minority Speaker.
I read an article somewhere today that said, I think 19 Democrats openly pledged not to vote for her Speaker of the House. Now it's remains 19
out of 300
new coming It doesn't matter, because as long as they're a big enough block to not have her get the majority.
19's not going to do it, though, if that's the majority.
No, but I think to be the Speaker of the House, you need to have 208. Like if your party's in power, you need to have 218. It's not like you have to have the majority. It's like you have to have like the majority of all of the House. I think
it's very strange.
Maybe that's not the way it works.
How is that conducive to a third party? Like a third party, let's say. God, that would never happen. Yeah, because what if you had like 3 or 4 parties in Congress? You could never get that much agreeal. I guess maybe you could, but I guess the larger point here, though, is Republicans are keeping the House. Republicans are keeping the Senate, which is a 6-year term election cycle. So, which means we have 6 more years of Ted Cruz, at least, which is a loss as a whole
be
for
the next
America.
speaker, a person needs... See, this is why. Because if you want to be the Speaker of the House, it's not about being a majority leader of your party. It's about being like the majority leader of the House of Representatives. So to be the next speaker, a person needs a majority of the votes from House members who are present and voting. So,
right, sure.
I mean, this could mean that if the margin is like, no, yeah, this could mean that if the margin's like super thin, whoever has control, like if you have a 1-seat advantage in the House, how the fuck, you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at? Like, how do you figure out who the Speaker of the House is?
Right.
Because
is it a simple majority?
You literally have to have every single person in your party.
Is it a nomination?
Vote
I
for
don't know.
you.
I have no idea.
And anyways, I read this article where it said it was like 19 to 21, somewhere in there. Democrats openly pledge. Who cares who they are, if they're new or old? Openly pledge not to vote Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House. So
that's fair.
So unless she has
like a small number,
right? Unless
in terms of
padding,
because there's about 435 representatives in the House. Is it 435? I believe.
Oh, I don't know.
Is it 535? I can't tell you.
530. I think you're right. It's 435 because it's 535 with the Senate, I believe. So there you go.
There you go. Well, so regardless,
also another takeaway from the election, by the way.
Sure.
Is
this might be where I was going, but go ahead.
Yeah, just like if you take a look at the House election map, all the blue is just centered around populated areas, and all the unpopulated areas are
That's
just
not
red.
where I was going, but sure.
Why is that so aggressive?
How is that surprising to you?
So that matters because in the age of Trump, especially since Trump's going to be on the top of the ticket in 2020.
Yeah.
This year, Democrats won.
Maybe.
Okay, stop it.
Sorry, carry on.
This year, Democrats won back the House. This year, Democrats won back the House by winning seats that were in suburban areas. That's how they won. So they won. They cleaned house in areas that were like that used to straddle the line between like Democrat and Republican, and now a lot of these like educated, especially middle-aged women in suburban areas, a lot of these areas elected Democrats. And so here's why this matters. In the age of Trump, everyone is so divided that it almost feels like it is what it is, right? There's not a lot of wiggle room, especially if Trump's going to be on the ballot in 2020. There's no way you can say like, allegedly, if you're a Republican, you can like tear yourself away. So these election results feel like it codified that the House will be Democratic as long as we're in this age of Trump. And just being in the age of Trump doesn't mean we have to always have Trump there. It can be like this crazy politics that, anybody could potentially engage in. But being in the age of Trump, like, I don't see how the Republican Party wins back these like educated suburban voters that they just lost. As long as Trump is in your party, the Republican Party it almost feels like it's just a Trumpican party. Like it is what it is. Like,
it does seem that way.
I don't know. And we'll see. Maybe him being on the ticket fires up even more electorate that might even not have come out this year.
I don't think so.
Who knows? Well, we'll see.
I get,
I'm never saying, of course I'm never saying one thing is going to happen. I'm just saying like,
right.
But from what I see, that the House seats they flipped and the areas that these House seats are in, I don't know how they win these voters back as long as Trump is there. So,
well, I was going to say, in a lot of the unexpected voting base that Trump may have brought out in 2016 in terms of just first-time voters, these were,
yeah, I don't know how
30,
many more first-time voters you can
first-time voters that had never, you know what I mean? So,
right.
So I think all of that energy came out in 2016. So I don't know if we should expect much more of that unexpected energy in 2020.
Yeah.
But I will say, and sort of to just sort of lean into this next point, there was a recent press conference, and I don't know if you saw this clip, where it was Jim Acosta, I believe his name is.
Oh, yeah.
Works for CNN. Trump was holding a press conference.
He was trying to, speak at the mic and,
Yeah. He was trying to ask a question. He was trying to be like, whatever. However you want to characterize the actions of Jim Acosta, Trump acted, in kind, very aggressively, very combative. He walked away from the podium when Jim kept trying to ask his question. And to me, and just to further clarify on that, I believe he's now banned from the White House press conference room. His privileges have been revoked for the time being. But as far as I can tell, Trump's really frustrated right now. I think he's worried. And this kind of bleeds into the next segment here. So Democrats have control of the House currently, which certain things I'm reading mean they can now subpoena Trump for tax information. They can now subpoena people around Trump for certain types of information uninhibited.
Mm-hmm.
And there were rumors floating around last week that the Mueller probe was looking into indicting Eric Trump fairly soon. So Trump he goes ahead and he fires, he basically makes Jeff Sessions hand in a resignation letter the day after the midterms, which is pretty telling that you waited.
Oh, absolutely. That was purely political.
He couldn't have waited a week more, like literally the day after the elections. He did not give a shit about what type of message it sent.
No, he just knew that firing him might have looked bad, so he waited.
And then he waited, the moment he had any sort of green light, he went for it. Doesn't matter how it looked. He said, goodbye, fuck you, Jeff Sessions. And I forget the name of the guy that's now acting in his place, in his stead. But as far as I can tell, Trump's concerned. He's worried. He's got to be worried. Mueller was waiting till after the midterms to sort of start dropping in any sort of big news. He didn't want to be seen as a type of Comey where he was maybe influencing certain types of elections. So the day after the midterms, Trump starts striking at the people that he's scared of. Right? I mean, that's got to be it. Why else does he fire a Jeff Sessions? Did he even give a reason for firing Jeff Sessions?
I don't think so.
Right? Like, what? He must have said something about it.
I don't know, dude.
But we all know what it is. He's trying to impede the investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, what else could be the motivating factor there? Jeff Sessions was executing Trump's platform. He was doing the right thing as far as Trump is concerned at the border. The only thing he was mad about Sessions about was recusing himself from the from the investigation in the first place and appointing Special Prosecutor Rod Rosenstein.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to be concerned.
What is he concerned about, though? What do you think? Like,
because there's something there. There's something that he knows that if the public sees it, he's going to lose his credibility. Trump is bulletproof, but only so long as there is a smoking gun. They don't care what he says. They don't care what he does. But the moment he does something that's explicitly
I don't
maybe
know,
treasonous, he's done, dude. Why else does he fire Jeff Sessions?
I just feel like it's gonna take something in real life, it's gonna take something in real time to sour people's taste of Trump. Like, just think about the 2 years. Just think about the 2 years we've been through. Nothing sticks to Donald Trump. So even even something that Mueller brings down that says like, hey, like he obstructed justice, like we found this, and this about connections to Russia and blah, blah. Like whatever he finds, Trump can just be like, it's fake news. It doesn't mean anything. And then he can hold his breath and go underwater for a week and then come back up and it's no big deal.
Maybe.
The only thing...
I think there's an exception here.
I don't know. The only thing that I think can stop the Trump train is a bad economy. At this point, there is nothing else that can stop the Trump train.
I disagree.
I used to think it was Mueller. It was the Mueller probe and the economy. I just don't think so. I just don't. I think
it's the smoking gun that'll come out. I think
as long as the gravy train keeps chewing along, nobody gives a shit.
No,
Go ahead.
no, because most of those very important Trump voters right now, quote unquote gravy train means nothing to them. Their wages haven't risen. Their jobs are the
That doesn't
same.
matter.
It does matter. It does matter when the glitter and the
Okay,
sparkles
but when
fade
it
away,
doesn't,
when the balloons
yeah.
falling from the ceiling are all
That's true.
gone and you realize the situation that you're still stuck in, especially if something comes out that's very explicitly treasonous on Trump's behalf. I think that's where he loses his bulletproof vest. You know, he's got a very cult-like following and adherence right now, but
Yeah,
these people,
and that's fine.
people exist in a bubble in opposition to the liberal, libtard, whatever you want to call it. But once you see something that's outside of that bubble that's explicitly treasonous, I think he does lose a good portion of that base.
Yeah.
He's been bleeding supporters for a while now. He's still remained at 40% approval somehow, but you can tell that he's been bleeding supporters. People slowly are coming to the realization that he's doing nothing for them if they're a middle American, if they're a middle class or lower American.
Yeah.
Trump is doing nothing for you. He's doing nothing for you.
We'll see what happens.
So I don't know. I don't think he's bulletproof from this. I think he's scared.
And Romney's already released a statement that's like, I will protect Robert Mueller. Now it's just a statement, but
Romney?
Yeah, Mitt Romney won the Senate race in Utah. He's going to the Senate.
Oh, gotcha. Fair enough.
And he's like, so if there's any potential hanky-panky, there's a Republican vote that would be like, hey, I'm not about this hanky-panky with Mueller. But still, I mean, they're probably going to end up with 50 because the special election is in Mississippi. Because it's a special election, special elections are weird, so anybody has a chance to win. But it's Mississippi, so realistically, the Republicans going to win. So they're going to end up with 52 if Democrats win Florida and Arizona, which I don't know if they will. Nobody does, but they end up with 52. They're Mitt Romney, so we'll see. The tighter you can make it, the more you'll be able to.
So are you not convinced that there's something Trump's hiding here?
I'm sure there is, man. I'm sure there's more than one thing. You kidding me?
There's a reason that Jeff Sessions is gone. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
So I heard something today. I was listening to some podcast, and it was like, Jeff Sessions getting let go. This proves that like all that matters is like loyalty to Trump, nothing else. And I couldn't help but sit there and think like, dude, if you look at everything Jeff Sessions has done, everything has been about being loyal to the president. Literally everything. He's done everything that's asked of him. He's followed like a Trump agenda. The only thing that he didn't do, the only area that you could question his loyalty is in what?
Respected the court of law? Was respected
no, not even that
process and procedure?
No, not even that. Not even that. It was recusing himself from the Russia investigation. That is the only thing that Jeff Sessions did incorrectly. That is the only thing that Trump is upset about.
Incorrectly in Trump's eyes.
And that tells you all you need to know. That
incorrectly in Trump's eyes, right?
That tells you what?
I agree.
Yeah, that tells you all you need to know about how, yes, there's probably something hidden.
Because Sessions,
but I don't care. Like, I just don't know that public opinion is going to get swayed. Like, dude, just think about the last 2 years, and we just had an election where, voters, I think, and ABC couldn't stop repeating it over and over again. Their exit polls had voters in Florida. They still have a 51% approval rating of Donald Trump, even after the last 2 years we've been through.
That doesn't surprise me, though.
Yeah.
Only in terms of
the economy, bro.
No, it's not. I disagree. It's in terms of social identity. And eventually these people are going to realize that facts and reality are more important than belonging to the group they belong to. There's a lot of people, I would bet money on it. There's a lot of people that are giving that pollster positive approval of Donald Trump only because what they perceive to be a Hillary type America is an America they hate, regardless of what actually that would be. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Trump is a yes and an approval from them because I'm a Republican. I identify as such. I think Hillary would have been shit. And Trump is here, whether or not we like it. So I might as well jump on board. Like, why would you? I don't trust opinion polls to that extent. As much as I trust people to tell me the truth when I can confront them about perhaps maybe bad decisions they've made.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it does matter. I think there's only so much that Donald Trump is bulletproof towards. And eventually there will be something that his base as a whole finds disgusting. And I think Mueller has whatever that is. And I think Trump's scared of it.
Here's the thing.
Why did he not release his
I want to believe you, but hang on.
Why did he not release his
I want to believe you, but now I can reference the last point.
Sure.
I want to believe that that's true. But the man in his press conference literally calls out Republicans by name.
Yeah.
Who he says did not embrace him.
That's true.
Like, are you kidding me? Like,
but again,
okay, if he still has the approval rating that he does after all this stuff, like, come on,
No, but it doesn't. But it's our team, their team type of mentality right now. We've been so caught up in this wave.
Right. What do we want out of politics?
Like, an information age.
What do we want out of politics? Right.
It's bad tribal politics. But here's the thing. The Republicans are going to eventually realize that Trump got elected by maybe 40% of their base at best. And that a majority of them are going to get sick of lining up behind Trump just because he calls himself a Republican. I 100% believe that.
There's
plenty of smart.
I believe there can be enough ones like
people
that.
On the right. It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and I think Mueller has the evidence for it.
He still has like 85% approval ratings among Republicans, so
85.
Oh yeah,
give it time. Give it time,
dude.
Let the Mueller probe publish what they have. I bet.
So that's the amazing thing about living in the era of Trump.
I bet you those numbers are demolished.
That's the amazing thing about living in the era of Trump. Trump is so divisive that he already drove his number from the beginning right down to where the median is. 40% of people approve of him, 55 disapprove, and 5 somehow don't know. Somehow sit on the sidelines still. Good for them. Yeah. God bless them.
I couldn't tell you. Okay. I don't have.
But the thing about his approval ratings, because I look at him all the time, as we've gone along, is it can dip and move from there, but it goes right back to where it started. It can be at 40, and then Charlottesville can happen, and then he can go down to 36, which he did average. This is all averages, and then he goes right back up to 40.
That's right.
So there's been some Mueller bombs. There's been plenty of Mueller bombs that have been dropped. I've shown you that list of 3 of. Hang on, I've shown you that. Hang on.
Not a smoking gun.
Okay, stop it. Hang on. There's been plenty of indictments and things that have happened in the Mueller investigation. And in the I've shown you that graphic where it shows you that in this investigation, they're getting indictments at like a way faster clip than any investigation before. They're moving really quickly. They're getting a whole bunch done. And every single time something relatively large has dropped, the poll numbers do dip. They move. And then they just go right back to where they started. Because I'm telling you, it's crazy, dude.
It doesn't. It's the Trump train. Listen.
That's what I'm saying. So I just
directly implicates Trump.
Economy.
People are riding that train. And it's because of this, right? The Republicans as a whole, they themselves are entirely responsible for Donald J. Trump being our president, right? Regardless of whatever this is.
He's a Republican.
So if he's not doing so well, and you're in a tribalistic type of warfare,
but by what standard? What standard is that?
You know what it is. What legislation has he passed? Healthcare or otherwise?
People would say tax cuts. Listen, I understand what you're saying,
nothing.
And that's fine. I understand what you're saying. Okay, I understand what you're saying, and that's fine. But
people are lining up tribally.
I'm telling you, we literally just had as much of a referendum as you can have on this president until the next election for him.
Yes.
2 days ago.
People aren't
numbers were fine for him. Numbers were right where they always are.
I understand that. Well, I expect that.
Then I don't know how you can make the case that they're going to go down because of all the crap that's going on when we've had the 2 years we've had, and they're right.
I would 100% put money on this. because these people are prideful. These people
put money on
believe in
what? Put money on what?
Trump will exit his presidency less than 30%.
Wait, what?
Yeah, in 2 years' time. Approval rating.
Oh.
In 2 years' time.
First of all, you're saying he's going to exit his presidency in 2 years' time.
Yes.
Okay.
By indictment.
I don't know why you're saying that, because if the Democrats run some
by otherwise.
Sure. I don't know how he gets impeached, but we'll get there.
You don't know how he gets impeached?
Look, but there's nothing.
Are you serious?
You're the one that used the term smoking gun before. So
yes, that's what we're talking about. I think there is a smoking gun.
Right, but we don't have one yet.
I agree.
There you go.
I think it exists.
I don't know. I don't even know about that. I think he's generally a sketchy man who, if you dig around in his past, he's done plenty of things that are not great. And at this point, I'm thinking that him lying on his tax returns is the least of what could expose him on those tax returns.
That's not what indicts him.
That's what I'm saying. Him lying on his tax returns is the least of what,
right.
I get that, but like,
right.
Yeah, you can't indict a president, and all this is just, this ends up being hearsay when you're Donald Trump and you're so powerful that you and your allies can just go out there and squawk like chickens about how it's fake news.
Dude, I would bet that in 2020, Republicans are either running Pence as their guy or somebody else. It's not going to be Trump. I would put money on that. I really would, dude. I think, as much as I don't
get nominated, I'll take that bet. Stop it.
Huh? For president.
I'll take that bet. Nobody's going to challenge Trump.
I'll say anybody but Trump.
Once again, we just had what is the at most referendum we can have on him. And he did just fine. If Republicans
lost... No, because there's been no smoking gun. Wait till Mueller finishes his probe. It's over.
Hang on. If Republicans lost 45, 50 House seats, and they lost Texas Senate, and they lost Missouri Senate, and they lost Indiana Senate, and they lost Florida, Arizona, Nevada, just like everything.
You're wrong.
Then there might be a sliver of room to say, actually, all the Democrats had to do was just take back the Senate and the House in any way, shape, or form. Then there would have been room to say, oh, look at this.
No, I think you're wrong.
We're going to run someone against you.
I think the smoking gun comes out. I think the Republicans come on board.
All right, well, that's okay. Hang on. If there's a smoking gun that comes out that makes them look really...
Republicans are better than that. They will dump Trump.
Okay.
I bet you that.
Well, I don't... You're referring to a party that no longer exists, so we'll see what happens.
They exist.
No, they're just independents now. They're just independents.
The
good people you're talking about, independents.
What?
The good people you're talking about, a lot of Republicans are too smart for this.
Said they're
whatever you said,
than this.
Whatever. And you're right. There's plenty of those people.
Distinction.
They just don't fit in the Trump party. They don't. They're independents.
No.
They don't.
Not with a smoking gun. I would bet that 100%.
The Trump coalition is too big to fight.
No.
For all of these smaller factions?
No, it's not, because it's a house of fucking cards. And once the biggest card on top, named Donald J. Trump, becomes a fucking liability, everybody bails. Everybody bails.
That's why, and we'll leave it here.
It comes out in the next 2 years.
Start a third party, and everybody just joins it. Everybody let's...
Party Unified. PartyUnified.org.
There you go.
Check us out. We're working on our platform, but promise you this, we're better than the Democrats and the Republicans. That's a goddamn money-back guarantee. Is that an endorsement that you support? My name's Chad Dunham, and I endorse this message.
Oh, there you go. I thought you were Norundithus. You just exposed yourself.
Oh, that's fine.
Exposed yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, we use our names all the time.
Yeah, I embrace it.
Whatever. Yeah, sure. Oh, sure. All right.
Are we calling it then?
That's it. Yeah. Okay. People want to stop.
We did
people
have
want us to stop annoying them, and we'll do so right now.